Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Today we are here with week number 23 of the hashtag 52 projects. Hashtag 52 projects are just simple projects that I find on YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, Google, or I make them up. And they're just fun projects to keep your mojo flowing, non-committal, just super fun. So this week we're going to do two projects. The first one is the book charm from Scrapdaworld. Tamika did the book charm probably like 6 or 7 years ago, and then she just revamped it. I did a quick 2-minute video reveal on the book charm, so you guys can watch that, but I will show you how to make the book charm. And then also we are going to do a cute little triangle box from Sam, who is Pootles Papercraft here on YouTube. Now we're going to do the box first because I forgot to turn my hot glue gun on, and that's very important. So what you're going to need for both projects, you're going to need hot glue gun, you're going to need your scraps, your corner rounder, and that's about it. So let me show you the project. Here is the box. How cute is that? I closed mine with Velcro. You can do ribbon like how Sam did. Inside my box, you will find my charm. And also, I just did some leaf confetti with a punch. I just thought that was super cute. If I was mailing this to someone, I would probably add little hard candies in there along with my book charm, because your book charm is 1 inch by 1 inch. It is a tiny little charm. We're going to use all scraps for both of these projects. So I just used this little cellophane bag with a twisty tie. And here is my book again. Super cute. And it has a little charm on the side, like a little dangle charm. Let me change. There we go. You know, obviously the dangle charm is optional. The book that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to do a dangle charm because I don't feel like getting out all my charm stuff, but you'll get the idea. And mine has a little belly band. I can show you how to do a belly band, or you can just leave it. You can seal it up. Tamika sealed hers up, and she put her charm inside the pages with a eyelet pin thing. I just popped a hole in the side of mine and stuck it in there. So it's you know, it's your choice. But this is all I did. I just folded the bag around. Get down there, butterfly. And then I just closed it with the twisty tie. I thought it was really cute. Just a little extra presentation for a little book charm. All right, so for the triangle box, which we're going to do first, like I said, this is all scraps. I'm going to show you how I keep my scraps. If I have pattern paper that, oh my gosh, get back in the box. If I have pattern paper that I don't have any more pieces, or I don't know where the pad was, I stick them all in a gallon-sized bag. And this is just my pattern paper pack. I do have a pack that has my rose gold and pink glitter paper. I have a pack that's white. I have a pack that's cream. I have a pack that's black. And then I have my multicolor. This is actually my fall pack. These are like my fall colors. So that's just kind of how I store my scraps. If I do have the paper collection still, I will, let me find one that I have. I will take the paper collection and staple, or not staple, but clip the scraps in another gallon-sized bag or whatever bag I have laying around. I clip the scraps to the paper pad so I know what paper pad the scraps went to. So, like I said, if I don't have any more of the paper, like if it was a one-off, or I don't know where the paper pad is, or if I'm just being lazy, they go in this bag. So for the triangle box, I'm going to go ahead and use these two scraps right here. You could do cardstock, you can do pattern paper. This box, I just had these cute little squares of this pattern paper, and then I did the rose gold because this piece was exactly 2 by 8 from a different project. So, you know, use what you have. So for me, for this project, I want the flowers to be where the gold is, and I want the stripes to be on the side. So determine what you want. So for your main piece, the piece where the gold is, you're going to cut that 2 by 8. And there's the measurements there. So 2 by 8. So if you have directional paper, you're going to have to be mindful of your direction. So don't get too complicated. All right, 2 by 8. And then your side pieces need to be 3 by 3. So 3 by 3. And I knew that piece of paper was 6 inches, and so that's why I cut it. So that way I would still have a 6 by whatever this is, 6 by 3 sheet of this. All right, so your sides, 3 by 3. Your front, 2 by 8. Okay, get your scoreboard out, wherever mine went to, on the floor. Okay, your side pieces, you're gonna score at a half. So if you have directional paper, you need to pay attention. So I want my stripes to go vertically like this. And so what I'm gonna do is hit it 1/2 inch, find where my bottom is. So if you have directional paper, at this point, it needs to be facing like this. So you're gonna score 1/2 on the bottom of your paper, and then you're gonna score on the side. So you need to do 2 sides and the bottom. See that? So if I was using the navy blue side, the direction doesn't matter, but because I want my stripes to be vertical, I need to pay attention to what the bottom. So I always do the bottom first. So that way, if I mess up on one, then the other one's going to be whatever direction the first one was. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so again, it should look like that. Okay. Now on your 2 by 8 inch piece, you're going to put it the long side up top, so the 8 inch side on the top, and you're going to score at 2.5, 4.5, and 7. Make sure you pay attention to this 4.5 measurement. Do it at 4.5, because if you don't, it's going to mess you all up. Because here's my blooper. I crumpled it because it made me angry, but I didn't measure it at 4.5. So there you go. Okay, so, oh, I forgot one part. On these 2 pieces, and I'm gonna have to do it on the navy side so you can see. Put the part where you did not score at the top, and you're gonna come at 1.5, and you're gonna score it down to about 1 inch, 1.125. So it looks like that. Okay, if you go a little further, it's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything. Same thing at the 1.5, and just come down about 1 inch. Okay. All right, so that's all the scoreboard we need, but we still need your scoring tool because we need to make the triangles. And if you forget to do this part, it's not a huge deal. You'll just have to manually pinch your bag in. Not a huge deal. Okay. All right, so you're gonna take your square. I couldn't think of the shape. And now we're just gonna connect the line with this corner, a diagonal. You could do it in your paper trimmer if you want, but for me it's just easier to take a ruler and connect the diagonal like that. Okay. You can't really see this one, but it's there, I promise. We're going to do the same on the other side. Just connect that your middle line with the diagonal, and on the other side as well. I know there's an easy way to do it in your paper trimmer, but I just go old school. Okay, so see that? That's how it should look. Like I said, if you forget to do that part, well, it's not a huge deal. Okay, let me move this board out of the way somewhere. Okay, let's go ahead and varnish these pieces. Making sure everything is nice and even. Okay, we want to go ahead and round our flap or whatever. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go half. Whatever punch you want to do on your top flap, or if you want to leave it straight, you can leave it straight, however you want to do it. This one I did the 1/4 inch round, and this one I'm going to do the 1/2 inch round. Okay. And I'm going to turn my light down a little bit more. All right. All right, sorry, somebody was in my driveway. They were just turning around, but I don't like that. Anyway, so we gotta take our pieces and we're gonna go ahead and cut out the squares on the side, like so. This is a very important step. If you try to miter before you cut these squares out, it's not gonna be enough. So you have to cut the squares out first because you want to make sure you're cutting out the bumpy. Y'all know what I mean if you follow me. The you know, like the score mark, the score line. Okay, now you can go ahead and miter and just chop off the little bit off the bottoms. And then you want to go ahead and miter the top as well. Okay, so you should have something that looks like that. So normally, you know, when you miter, you would just chop this whole diagonal, but it leaves some of the score mark and then it doesn't fit. You'll just be frustrated. So take the time, cut out the box first, and then miter. Okay. That's why my first one was all messed up and it's in the trash, because I was trying to be fast and skip steps and it didn't work out. And then I didn't score correctly because, again, I was trying to be too fast. So take your time. It's not a race. Okay. So there's all your little pieces that look like that. Do yourself a favor and use score tape, because trying to do this with wet glue, it wasn't fun. Now you don't get enough, you don't get a lot of wiggle room time when you use score tape. So use score tape and use your glue stick to give yourself that wiggle room if you need to. If you don't trust yourself with score tape, give yourself that wiggle room. I don't even know if I have a glue stick that I can show you. I don't know where my glue stick is. Whatever. You just put your score tape on and you rub a little, like a regular Elmer's glue stick on there, and it just, gives you that extra wiggle room. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tape. I probably should have taped first and then mitered, but that's okay. All right, so go ahead and tape or wet glue. Well, you want wet. If you're wet gluing, you gotta wait. But taping, you're good to go right now. if you're doing these for craft fairs, you could probably get away with like ATG, because you know the people are just going to throw it away. If you are putting like candy or mints or something in there, you know, most people are just going to throw it away. So go ahead and on the back of your paper, you know, just go ahead and push your lines in a little bit. You don't have to do this step right now. Gosh, my lighting's killing me. But I just like doing this step now, just so I know that my lines are in, like so. Okay. So now what we're going to do is take the bottom piece off one, make sure there's no overhang at all, and we're going to go ahead and stick it in this middle box. So you have the tiny flap, a box, or a rectangle, a square, and a rectangle. We're going to put this in the square. So this part, I found it was easier for me to fold it up. Wait, I think I taped it wrong. No, I didn't. Tiffany. Because you're trying to get it to the edge. And so if you fold it up and stick it in there, it's a little bit easier. But it's up to you. Make sure there's no overhang. And I'm going to get this in here. Line it up all the way to the edge. And you're in. Okay. And now we're just going to glue the sides up. That's it. So I'm going to start with the right side. No overhang. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. No overhang. Cool. And then just build it up. Make sure you're lining those edges up, down, and press. Same thing, line your edges up. Oh no. Okay, and then the same with the front. Again, make sure there's no overhang with your glue. Okay, and there we go, and there we go. Okay, and now you just add your Velcro or your ribbon closure, or you know, however you want to close it. If you want to staple a tag on there, you know, put a brad, whatever you want to do, that's how you're going to do your closure. All right, let's move on to our book. The Velcro I used was just the Dollar Tree Velcro that we all have. All right, so your book, what you want to do is get whatever color you want. And because I use this paper, I'm going to use cream. I know this says white cardstock because that's what I used for the first book. But since this is a darker, oh, this is a card base. Since that's a darker paper, I'm going to use cream. But I don't want to use a card base. It was in my scraps. So I just have to find another cream scrap. I have plenty. I have a whole bag full, so it's not like I have a cream shortage. Alright, just pull out however many scraps you want. Cut them down to 1 inch by 1 inch. I can't really tell you how many to do. It's just really how thick you want your book. I'll do this one strip with you, but then the rest, you know, I'll do it off camera. Just because that would be boring to keep watching me just cut up 1 inch pieces of paper. So just, you know, keep cutting up 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. Probably like maybe 2 or 3 strips. I don't know. So this piece of paper was 1 inch by 12. That's what this measured. And you'll know if you go over that 1 inch, some of your pieces are going to be wonky. And you can't always assume your last piece is going to be that 1 inch because we're using our scraps, in which it's not. So I'm going to have the scissors cut that one. It's like 1 1/8 or something like that. And that will mess you up. So make sure they're perfectly 1 inch by 1 inch, okay? Okay, so mine's pretty thick. I did about, I would say 3 strips. So 3 inches by 12 inches is what comes out to about this much. It's about a 1/2 inch thick. You can make your book any thickness you want. It's your book. Now, I'm going to use a clamp to get all my pieces lined up. This is where I said if you cut it a little bit over, it is going to mess you up because you need it to be all even. So just kind of get it even. I'm going to clamp it. It's just easier to hold. Make sure it's straight when you clamp it. And that just kind of gives you that nice surface there. If you have a 1 inch square punch and you have that little crafter that just wants something to do, have them punch a million little squares. I had Corey do this for a project for me. I was making a Minecraft card for one of his friends, and he just had the best time punching paper. Of course, he wasted a lot of paper, but it was an expensive paper, so we just put it in the recycle bin when he was done, but he had a great time. You're also going to need a small scrap to be your cover. So I'm going to grab my scrap bin back. Where's my, I want my rose gold pack. Okay, here we go. So I need my rose gold pack again. And I'm just going to find a small piece that looks like it will fit. And then I'm going to use probably the same paper collection. I'll see if I can make that work. So your outside piece, you can do 1 1/8 by, I don't know. We'll find out in just a second. So I'm doing 1 1/8. Only because I just want my book, my cover to be slightly bigger. You could do 1 1/4 inch if you want that, you know, more of a book, more of your outside page. But I just want the tiny little bit. I want it just to be a smidge bit bigger than my pages. So 1, 2, so like by 2.5, 3. I'm going to keep mine at whatever length this is, and then I'm going to cut it off. So I would say 1 1/8 inch by 3.5 is what my measurement here. It's way too big, but that's just what I'm going to keep it right now so I can, you know, cut it off and customize it in a minute. But that's the size I'm using. Okay, this part I'm very scared to teach y'all because I don't want anyone to be reckless. If you have a silicone mat, take that out, or whatever you have. Protect your surface, protect your fingers. We need to get this hot glue on these pages. Get a metal tool, your bone folder, a spatula, well, this doesn't have to be metal, but a spoon, something other than your fingers, clearly, because you don't want hot glue dripping on your fingers. Remember Hot Glue Gate of 2019 and I had that burn mark? Yeah, we don't need any more of that. We don't need any more dripping hot glue. All right, so pick whatever side you think is the straightest. I think that side there is the straightest. So I'm going to hold this and I'm just going to start doing a layer of hot glue, making sure I get it on all the edges. Try to make it as thin as you can. My hot glue gun is weird, so I gotta kind of, to get it to the edges, I gotta like plop it on there and make it thick, which is annoying, but your hot glue gun may not be annoying. So, all right, so just make sure it's on all the edges. Now you want to take your whatever tool other than your finger and just, you know, scrape all that extra off. So mine had a lot, but you want to make sure that you have enough to cover corner to corner without burning yourself. So I took all of that off, which, you know, it should be dry. It should be fairly dry because now it's just a thin layer of glue. Okay. Yep. Now this is your true test if you got it edge to edge. If you can open your book like so and none of the pieces fall out, you got it. The first time I did it, I didn't get it. So you just clamp it back together. If it's like one sheet, obviously throw it away, you're fine. But if it's a ton of them, clamp it back together, add more hot glue, wipe it off, you know, until you get that good seal. This was completely dry, by the way. All right, so that's pretty much all we need. The hot glue. You could do the next part with hot glue, but for me, because my hot glue gun is weird and it's too bulky, I'm gonna use wet glue. All right, so what I'm gonna do is wet glue edge to edge. Oh gosh, I got it on my fingers. And then I'm going to put it on the right side of my paper strip, putting it where I want it. You know, make sure it's even. Sorry if my head gets in the way, but I gotta see. Okay, to make sure it's even on all three sides, the bottom, the top, and the right side. Okay. Now, if you are going to do your charm and you're going to put the eye pin, this is where you want to glue the eye pin in, and then you glue your base around it. But since I'm not putting a charm on this one, I don't have to worry about it. I mean, you'll have enough room to throw some hot glue in there, so don't worry if you know, right now you don't do a charm and then you decide later you want to. You can always just glue it in there. It'll be fine. Or just stick it in there. It'll be fine. You're not supposed to be going crazy with it. So what I like to do is just kind of make my edges nice and crisp. I'm going to go ahead and put the glue here, edge to edge. And also, I forgot, on my spine. If you want to use a bead of hot glue on the spine, you can. I'll just use some hot glue on the spine. Just, you know, to really reinforce that hot glue. And make sure that gets up in there. You want to make sure your wet glue is spreading. Make sure everything is even, which mine is not. So I'm just going to move it around just a smidgen. Okay. Okay. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and cut, you know, where I want. So you probably can get away with 2.5. But like I said, I just used whatever measurement that piece was. And there's my book. Okay. Now, if you want your pages to be loose, have your pages loose. If you want to have your book completely shut, you just glue all the pieces. Tamika's book is completely shut. Mine, I'm going to leave open. But if you look in here and you see, uh-oh, my page separated, that's fine. Just glue it. See, my first page separated because that means I really didn't get that hot glue to where it needed to be. But that's okay. I'm just going to glue it. And guess what? You would have never known had I not showed you that. So it is a functioning little book at this point. Like I said, you can glue the pages down together or leave it functioning. What I did on my other one, I made a little belly band. So you can just take a tiny little, or however big you want, strip of paper, wrap it around, make it a belly band. You can cut out the pieces of paper to match your box, put it on there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Just gonna cut 7/8 of an inch by 7/8 of an inch. So I just have a little bit of the gold popping out. So So this is a hard, a hard thing to measure because it's so small. So, but you'll be right. So because my paper trimmer doesn't always like to do that such a small measurement, I kind of just put a notch in there and then cut with my scissors. Excuse me. And then you're just going to glue your pieces on your book however you want. If you want it like that, if you want less of a border, which I think I want less of a border, you know, so just decorate it how you want. Make the belly band if you want, or you can just do just a belly band and put a decoration on the front, however you want. This one, I did the tiny little belly band. That was actually a scrap that I cut off for something, and then I just did the little leaf, and that was it in my charm. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed these 2 tutorials, and I hope you make the little box and the book charm. If you do, make sure you tag Tamika, who is Scrapdaworld, or Sam, who is Pootles Papercraft, and tag me. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.